my way from misery to happiness today. I'm on my way from misery to happiness today. I'm on my way to what I want from this world. And years from now, you'll make it to the next world. And everything that you receive up yonder is what you give to me the day I wonder. I took a right turning yesterday. Yeah, I took a right turning yesterday. I took the road that brought me to your hometown. I took the bus to streets that I could walk down.
Welcome to episode 4. In this episode we're going to be taking a look at the open pickups with frames which are there to support the loose canvas tops that go over. As you can see, they've produced them in a number of different liveries, and we're going to take a look at a couple of these today. But before we get into that, I've got a bit of news. You may remember in episode 2 we were looking at the red open pickup. Just to refresh your memories, it was that one. And I said I was surprised to find one on eBay that bore the Oxford branding. If you can just make that out there, Oxford. And it did have some slight differences to the previous models that had been released. On closer inspection, there's some more changes being made, and this prompted me to have a look at some of the other ones that I have with Oxford in the packaging, and they've made some changes to the bases of these Land Rovers. So what I'll do is I shall just release this one from its base and we'll show you what I've discovered. Right, that's nice and easily done. They're just held onto the base by one little screw, so you just need one of these watchmakers screwdrivers to release them. 2 seconds and away it comes. Right, the changes they've made on the base is as follows. They've removed all branding from this label area here. Something else that becomes obvious, they've added a rivet to the back there, so I take it the camera can just pick it out. Let me just grab one of these others. You see where the branding is there, and there's no rivet hole, so they've moved the rivet there. They must have had some issues or some reason for doing it. It's been done during the redesign, obviously, probably for ease of manufacture. Right, another change they've made, which wasn't quite so obvious. Right, I'm going to show you the silver version because it's easier to spot. Can you see the tailpipe on the exhaust here? Tailpipe comes right out to the back. On the Oxford version, just there, we'll just point to it, it's cut off. There's no tailpipe. So if you get one of these models and there's no branding and there's no tailpipe and you've got the rivet, it's fair to assume that it's one of the newer Oxford versions. I've had a look at a couple of other models with which were packaged branded as Oxford rather than just Cararama, and they all appear to have the same base, so it looks like the entire range has received this new base. So that is yet another production variation and something else to look out for. Cararama seem to be releasing slowly different models from this range, so one can assume that eventually they'll all be released and perhaps if we're lucky we'll get some new liveries as well, but so that's something else to look out for. Right, let's get back to having a look at these models with the frames. Right, the Series 3 Land Rovers with open back and canvas frames have been released in 7 colours that we're aware of up to press. It is technically 8. This fella at the front, the green one, there are some examples around where on the door is printed post office telephones, but they do seem rather hard to get hold of, and I've not managed to get one. Whether they were a limited edition run, in so saying, I've found a couple advertised in America which come as part of a three Land Rover box set. That's the only place I've seen them. So whether these were just done for that one set, or there are some out there on their own, but they don't seem to crop up very often, and so I suppose technically we should say there are 8 different liveries to these. Right, for the purposes of today's video we're going to look at this fella, and we shall take a look at the dark blue. The other ones we shall deal at a later date. Okay, so we'll just get the other ones moved and everything set up, and we'll go through what all the differences are in these. So back in a minute. Now this one seems to come in a multitude of different combinations, and possibly up to 6. I have 3 at the moment. They seem to have swapped this one around quite a lot. It's a case of just armed with what you know from the previous videos and what to look for, is just have a look and see what you've actually got in your hand or you're proposing to buy, because there's so many different combinations on this one. The third one that I picked up, well, just this last week, is this 3 box set. It comes from Oxford. It's the Oxford version. Now I have had this to bits, and this all these Land Rovers bear that new base plate that we were on about at the beginning of the video. So it would appear that there's so many different variations of this one. As I say, 6, maybe even more. It definitely is a case of just look at what you've actually you've actually got. I'm certainly going to keep an eye out more closely on this one. Why some of these tend to be more prevalent in the way they've swapped them around, I don't know. I don't know what the marketing strategy has been, but some models they seem to have stuck religiously to the one pattern, yet others they've wandered all over the place. It's so difficult to pin things down, but certainly you could end up with possibly 6 or even more different versions of this one. Certainly these new ones that are coming out from Oxford have added another dimension to collecting them, and it seems like their intention is to bring out all the old liveries, but as I say, they are going to be slightly different to what's gone before. So we'll move on to the blue one. We'll just set up everything, and it's a bit more straightforward for the blue one, so we'll just set everything up for you and I'll be back in a sec. Right, this one is the darker blue version. They have done a paler blue one, but we'll deal with that later. This one only seems up to press to have had two different distinct models, and they basically break down into the old and the new. The old being the silver running gear underneath, etc. The painted vent panel. Again, these two both wear the WXX registration number. I've not seen any GPX versions of this. The wheels, oddly enough, are Type B wheels on both, which again, you would suspect there would be some Type A wheel versions of the early one around, but not seen any, but they could be out there. I should imagine if Oxford get round to releasing this one in this colour, they'll probably they definitely would have thought we'll have the newer base fitted to them, so that could bring a third version into play. Again, just keep your eyes out, see what you've got. We've got through those two quite quickly, so while we're on, we shall have a look at the pale blue one. Right, you can see the difference between the two, there's no mistake in them. This is the pale blue one. Again, it appears to have been produced only in two variations, similar to that one, old and new. According to the listings, this one should have a Type B wheels, which it has, and unpainted, so that puts it as the one of the later ones. The early version of this follows the usual format. It should have the painted vent panel, and it should have silver running gear underneath. Right, that's for this video. In the next one, we'll give these canvas ones a rest, and we'll take a look at some of the other liveries in these soft top. Certainly they've produced a lot of liveries in that's one of the most popular castings they've done, and we'll take a look at some of the various ones, see what's to be had with them. So in the meantime, please, if you've any information on any of these, drop us a line or just reply on the bottom of these videos, and I'll try and answer any questions. You may have information for me. If you have, please share it, because that's what it's all about. That's the purpose of these. So till the next time, happy collecting.
From misery to happiness to thee. I'm on my way from misery to happiness.